So for this one here, a lot of people are having questions. Number 3 and number 8 on the take-home are similar to these two. So I thought I'd do them for you because some students are working on them right now. A group of researchers found that people prefer training films of moderate length. Shorter films contain too much information, while longer films are boring. The ratings people give a film is approximated by R of T equals and these are found on the review, the weekly checklist. It has the review for the test. So this is our ratings, and T is in minutes. The first thing they want is instantaneous rate of change. That means derivative. And the quotient rule is the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom, all over the bottom squared. So when we take the derivative, the bottom, we just write it, t squared plus 100 times the derivative of this top. Derivative of this is 20, and then t to the 0 drops off, so it's just 20 minus the top times the derivative of the bottom. This is 2t to the first. Remember, multiply and subtract 1, and 100 goes to 0. All over the bottom squared. No, when you're taking derivatives, you don't have to simplify them for just the derivative part, but since this one next wants critical numbers, we need to simplify. So for critical numbers, we'll first distribute our 20. 20t squared plus 2,000 minus 40t squared over t squared plus 100 squared. To find the critical numbers, we set it equal to 0. I'll get rid of this by multiplying it both sides. So that this cancels, and I'm also going to combine these two terms. Negative 20t squared, because 20 minus 40 is a negative 20, plus the 2,000. And then this cancels, and it's equal to 0 times anything is 0. Subtract the 2,000 to the other side. Divide by the negative 20. T squared is 100. To get the squared by itself, we can take the square root of both sides, which leaves a positive and negative value. So t equals 10 and negative 10. Both of these are critical numbers, but for our problem, a negative amount of minutes doesn't make sense. But they are both critical numbers. To find the highest rating, we would use the positive 10 because you can't have a negative minutes. So you don't technically need to take both of them because we know that our time has to be greater than or equal to 0. So we just need to test the 10 or plug it in. We're plugging it into the original equation because that's the one before the derivative. 20 times 10 over 10 squared plus 100. (20 times 10 divided by So a rating of 10 minutes will give you your highest rating of 1. Let's take a look at the next one. This one is just explaining what everything means. A company sells books and the manager is given the values below, where profit is in hundreds, of dollars for X books. So P of 50 equals 6.25. X is the number of books. So when 50 books are produced and sold, the P of X is total profit. Profit's in hundreds, so it would be 625. 50 books are sold, the total profit is $625. And the next one is the derivative. So I multiply by 100. Now what this tells you is at 50 how it's changing. So if we sold one more book, the 51st book will bring a total profit of $12.13. So the total profit will increase by $12.13 because this is still the P of X, it's the derivative of it. So it tells you how it's changing at 50. We've already sold 50. If we sell the 51st book, it increases because it's positive by $12.13. B is working with the ones with the line over it. So this is saying when we produce and sell 50 books, we make $12.50 from each book. So when it has a line over it, that's per item, in this case per book. When 50 books are sold, the profit is $12.50 per book. And then the one with the line over it and the derivative multiplying by 100 because it's in hundreds. This would be $0.24, which is 24 cents. Remember, derivative tells you the next one. So we're selling 5. 50. If we sell one more, the 51st, will increase profit by 24 cents per book. So this is telling you increase per book. This derivative told you total profit because that was the total profit, and this is the average profit. So profit per book. One other question I had, students had, was on 7B. It was a fraction, and it said well, first you take the derivative quotient rule, which I think everyone's fine with that. And we just did one here, so it would be that. But part B says to divide first and then take the derivative and get your answers to match. When you're dividing first, you're taking x and dividing it into each term. So it would be 2x squared over x plus 3x over x minus 5 over x. And then simplify. Here the x cancels with one of those and leaves 2x. Here the x's cancel and leave 3. This one won't reduce, but remember to take the derivative, we could bring it up. So we'd have a negative 5x to the negative 1. Then take the derivative. So this would be dividing. And then when we take the derivative, we get 2. That goes to 0. Negative and a negative is a positive 5x, subtracting 1 to the negative 2. To get them to look the same, you could either convert this one to a fraction or the other one divide like we did here. But to make it a fraction, this would be 2 plus 5 over x squared, moving that back down, and then getting a common denominator, x squared. This would be 5. This we'd have to multiply by x squared over x squared. So we get 2x squared plus 5. And you'd want to make sure the two match.